Hi guys, my name is Alyssa and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to do another episode in my numerology series of the life path numbers. Now, in my 211 video, I felt like I didn't have enough time to explain this, but I did explain it in the one video. And that is that this is life path. So it is the path your life takes. This is not your destiny number, and this is not anything else or your birthday number. This is a life path, which most numerologists believe this is the most important number, and because you cannot split 3 in half, you do not need to add up your number any special way if you are a 3. If you're wondering why I said that, watch my 2 video. It's like 20 minutes long. Yeah, and I also hope that you are watching all these videos, because I know the numbers themselves, I am giving away a lot of information about the number, even though I'm just talking about your life path specifically, that if you can learn anything from this, you can actually also know what each of these numbers mean and why you might see more of them in your life. Also, there's a link in order to look at your whole numerology chart. And I use Cafe Astrology. They don't pay me or anything, I just like it the best. Yeah, so I'll link that. This is the number 3. And so when I talked about the number 1 and the number 2, I talked about the fact that the 1 was like the father and the 2 is like the mother. Or you could say the 1 is the man and the 2 is the woman. So now, if I basically just achieved both sexes, like I've achieved all the numbers, right? Well, kinda. All 1 and 2 you will find in the addition of a lot of these different numbers. Most specifically is the 3, because the 3 can only be made up of a 1 and a 2 when you're adding up your birth date. So you'll get 12 and then you'll get 3. Does that make sense? You have to look at 3 as like a combination of the 1 and the 2, of the mother and the father. And it doesn't mean that you're both those, because that would be the 11. It means that you are their offspring. You are not only just a child, you're their special child. Every person who has a baby is like, oh my God, my baby is the smartest, most talented baby, child, 5-year-old that I ever did see. They have so much energy and spunk and creativity. I feel like my child could be the next Picasso or the next athlete or the next violin player or the next ballerina. Like, your child can do everything. But the thing is with children, and what I've noticed, is that they tend to definitely go for a lot of different things at first, and then they stick to one thing that they're really good at or that they're better than average at. And they tend to lose their abilities in other things. Like, every kid likes to draw. Every kid becomes an amazing artist. Some children continue to build their talent in that area of art, while other children just stop and they level off because it's not their talent. But every child does have the ability. As a 3, you need to keep that in mind. You are that child that grew up and still had the gifts. People always say, like, when you're talking about the 3, they're like, well, it's the artist. I'm not an artist. I can't draw. There is a very big difference between an artistic mind and someone who can draw. To truly be an artistic mind, it does not have anything to do with drawing. It may have to do with music. It may have to do with computers. It has to do with the fact that you think outside the box and you're good at a lot of different things. And because of that, people tend to spoil you. Like a spoiled, rotten little kid that's just good at everything. 3s have a very strong innate sense of rhythm. They may not be the best dancers, but they can keep a beat. They're actually able to sense what's going on around them, like the rhythm all around them. That makes them catch on to these vibrations and always seem to be at the right place at the right time. They always are in the place where they need to be because they pick up on that stuff. They pick up on it and they use it to, say, be the center of attention, as a little kid wants to do. You're not just going to learn something and then keep it to yourself. You're a 3. You want to learn something, you want to tell people about it, and then you want to put on a show with it. I just learned how to sing. Hey everybody, come to my living room. I'm gonna sing for you. That's a 3 with whatever it is, because you get excited. A 3 needs self-expression, and some parents stunt that in their children. A lot of parents, they don't mean to, maybe some of them do, they feel as though their parents raised them wrong, and these are all the things that they would do different. Because they are a certain way, it might be true that they could probably raise themselves very well. They forget that their kid is very different from them, and maybe you're a doctor and your child is like,
I want to go learn how to do every instrument.
And you're just like,
no, you're not going to waste your time on learning every instrument. You're going to be a doctor, just like me.
A lot of 3s grow up with that and forget about their self-expressive side. And they almost think that no way could they be a 3, doesn't even define them. But in fact it does. And even if that person is going to med school, their mind is able to pick up very quickly because the 3 is very quick. The 3 likes to collect all the different knowledge, and the 3 will make it fun just by being a 3. So even if it's not something that maybe you were born to do, you'll make the most of it. The 3 has a natural confidence or air about them, a little bit of a wit and charm. If you got the 1, which is like the leader delegator, you got the 2, which is the nurturer, intuitive, you'll have the 3, which is the charmer and the expressive person. Kind of like the communicator, almost like a Gemini, which is also the 3rd sign in the zodiac. They can fall into deep insecurity though. A 3's happiness is normally found in very shallow behavior, and it's not because they don't want to be deep, but it's those little things that make them really happy, and those little things are shallow. So it's like, I just painted this sunset and it's so beautiful and it makes me so happy. And it's like, that isn't where deep happiness is found. Deep happiness is found into interconnections with other people and a deep sense of yourself. And so it's normally when the 3 is broken, hurt, and kind of destroyed a little bit that they do find that they have to build themselves up, and they are able to find their deep center and truly find happiness. And they don't have to base their happiness on something that is shallow and mediocre and not something that they should be basing their happiness on. Of all the numbers, I wish I was a 3. When you grow up with the ability to be an artist and you don't have the 3 life path, you kind of feel a little bit cheated. Like, why were you given a certain talent to express yourself with no desire to express yourself? And so I always felt lost and confused. It was so difficult to not want to utilize your talents. As a 3, you really just want to use them. You can use them. The best writers, the best artists, the best musicians, the best speakers are 3s. I said before that people get confused when they're like, oh, I'm a 3, I'm not an artist. There is something about the 3, though, that actually some get into scientific fields and computer fields. They like exact sciences. They like something that they can wrap their mind around, they can just really dive into. So it's not that uncommon to meet a 3 that is also a doctor. Not just somebody who's in media arts or liberal arts or whatever. But above all, no matter what you do with your number, the first thing you need to do is find structure. And if you were not given structure as a child, you need to create it inside of you now. You need to do whatever steps it takes to give yourself structure. That way you can find happiness, you can achieve your goals in your career, and you can move on and you can actually hone your gifts and your talents. And that's a 3.